So we know that July is Mental Health Awareness Month. We've already focused on eating disorders, but ultimately it gives us a platform and opportunity to hone in on the mental state of our country, of our children in particular, with what we are discussing right now. Bullying has been put on the radar, I think, to highlight the greater need for public awareness, first of all, and responsiveness given the high level of violence experienced at South African schools at the moment. Social media, unfortunately, has highlighted this and probably made it a lot worse. Unfortunately, it does not stop there, as bullying can and often does have a lifelong impact on your mental health. And as we become adults, I can certainly see those effects through a lot of the work that we've done. We are now able to shed a little bit of light on this very important topic with Shukat Majenka and Abdul Rahman Kenny from leading pharmaceutical provider Pharmadynamics. Gents, first of all, how mundane and underachieving do you feel after that incredible young lady? That's it just kind of
absolutely amazing.
It highlights the need for us to protect this most precious resource even more. How bad is the state of bullying in South Africa? I know obviously we get a certain take of it from what we see on social media, but what are some of the stats?
Bullying is really on the increase at the moment, unfortunately. It's sitting at about 41% of kids at school that are being bullied at the moment. It's gone that bad. Just think of
nearly half.
Nearly half the kids at school are being bullied currently. It's becoming of almost an epidemic proportion at the moment.
That is actually terrifying. I've got a young one, and I've got friends who have got kids that are probably in that hot zone, that moving into adolescence, into teen, where it can have very damaging effects. Social media, cyberbullying. Are we seeing this? First of all, is it as bad? Is it part of the problem? And are we seeing it in that way? Are we placing enough weight on the damage that can be done with online bullying?
So, of course, we are living in the digital age. And with the advent of the internet, bullying has now spread beyond the borders of just the school. And the thing to remember about bullying is that it can be, or cyberbullying, is that it can be done anonymously. So bullies can harass their...
It's often why it happens, because you can be anonymous.
Yeah. So what happens is they can harass their victims without having any fear of being caught. And another thing to remember is that it can be done through so many channels. For example, there's SMSs, there's emails, instant messaging, social media, of course. So, for example, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, there are so many channels. So to answer your question, yes, it has definitely become a problem.
Are we seeing it as the problem that it is, do you think? Maybe both of you can weigh in. Are we giving it enough gravitas, knowing the kind of damage? I mean, I've had mates, a daughter who is incredibly strong, intelligent. She's had to move schools because of what's been playing out online. Do you think we are treating it with the kind of care that we need to?
I can talk from a school's perspective. It's definitely, the education around bullying is definitely increasing, but it has to be tackled from a home perspective as well. Then the responsibility comes back to the parent and also still to the teacher or the person in school to recognize what is happening.
Just identify those things. So let's extrapolate this a little bit. Doesn't just happen to kids. We know that it happens in the context of many people's work, but when we look at that knock-on effect, that unfortunate chain, how damaging, even to an adult, can bullying be if that's a constant thread through someone's life?
That is so accurate. There was two studies done in a combination of about 23,000 people from the age of about 70 to about 50 years old, and they found about 20% of those people who were bullied suffered from psychological depression, anxiety disorders all the way through the young adulthood through to the adulthood. So the knock-on effect from school stays with you through school until a stage where you really need assistance and help. And to your point, it should be tackled earlier on, so we don't have to carry that through with us into our adulthood and through our lives.
This show is already is starting to get me to think about what I'm teaching through my actions. So something that you might think is a throwaway, let's tease it out, even teasing our mates. There's a lot of banter between my guy friends, but what message are you sending? That's one thing, but what else can we do to stem the tide? How do we affect the culture ultimately around bullying, do you think?
I love what you just said now. it starts with us as parents at home, you know, in terms of watch what you say and watch what you do, because the kids are so moldable that they will learn from you. From a parent, you need to try to pick up on signals. Kids clammy hands. Are they nervous? Are they not crying to want? School it's out of bounds for them. So we need to start to look out for these signs and symptoms that could relate or reflect or even a hint of bullying, and something we need to discuss. We need to role play with kids. We need to give them scenarios of what is actual bullying. To Rahman's point, for us, sometimes bullying growing up was just something physical. It's now gone to social media.
Which can be far more damaging.
Far more damaging, because now you can spread not just to one and one, but from one to many other. And we need to be able to let the kids identify that and let them know what's going on, that it's actually not okay. Because you need to identify and see it and say it. There's something happening at the schools at the moment where they're trying to tell the kids, if you're seeing bullying, say something about it. Let's stop it before it spreads.
Yeah, because you would want someone to do exactly the same thing for you. Thank you for placing so much importance on this. And we're using a word that's important here, victim. Because when you're being bullied, you're being attacked, you're being victimized. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's left me with a lot to think about as a new parent, but I think as any adult, as any person, and especially as someone who might think that you're a victim of bullying and you don't know what to do about it, get in touch with someone who knows the landscape, and you can contact Pharmacodynamics toll-free helpline 0800 205 026. We'll have that number on all of our social media platforms as well, and it's manned by trained counselors who are there from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., or rather 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. Or additional support, you can of course visit Pharmacodynamics mental health website at it's Let's Talk mh.co.za, but we will have all of those details on our social media platforms. And most importantly, speak to someone. Speak to your parents, and if you're a parent and you can see you know your child better than anyone else, if you can see a change, role play, talk to them, find out what's going on.
Pharmacodynamics, effective, affordable healthcare.